There are older and fouler things than orcs in the deep places of the world. The darkest legends of elves, dwarves, and men speak of creatures so dark, so evil, that mortal names could do no justice to describe them. These are nameless things, creatures of evil that are even older than Sauron himself, possibly bred from Ungoliant, the mother of all spiders herself, or something even more fouler than her. Even the wisest of elves or even a grey wizard knows not their true origins, only that the evil unto themselves, and despite this, they themselves do not heed the call of the shadow, for Sauron has no control over these foul creatures of the dark. To look upon them is to see unspeakable horror, and the danger they represent is equally matched. They're not mindless beasts, but they're not driven by some deeper drive or craving, rather by a primitive intelligence linked to some survival instinct. They hate all light, and thus live the darkest recesses and chambers of the world, the deepest, coldest lakes, or possibly the darkest of ancient forests. Few have seen such a creature. Fewer still have survived to tell a tale of one. Nameless Things give you, the Loremaster, the ability to throw an unexpected company a difficult and more often than not unbeatable adversary, bent on sowing fear, despair, and terror, not only to them, but to the free peoples of Middle-earth. A Loremaster created Nameless Thing could be the capstone of a fully developed campaign, all pendant on how strong and difficult the creature is. There is no limit to the foulness the creature can exude or horror it can throw at your players. Let's take a look at how you can create your own unique Nameless Thing. Starting on page 231 of the core rulebook, creation of a Nameless Thing is through the use of a number of fully developed rollable tables that provide the Loremaster with all of the background and abilities of the Nameless Thing. It is up to you as Loremaster. You can either roll on the table to create something even you couldn't even dare yourself to create, or choose the options as presented, molding the creature to what you would like to throw at your company of heroes. Let's create one together. Table 1 is used to determine how the thing is referred to, in tale and by which culture, elves, men, or even by orcs themselves. There are 12 options matching the values on the feat die, followed by 6 more matching the success dice. Roll 1 for each column to get the name of your creature. Here, I have rolled a 7 on the feat die, and a 6 and 2 on the success dice, getting the Hunter, in the water, by elves. From this result, think about how and why the elves of Middle-earth would have come across such a creature, and most importantly, where. Jot down a few notes, but keep in mind to not write it in stone yet. Let's see what else we need to roll to flesh out the creature. Table 2 is used to generate its overall general appearance and description. It's not exhaustive, so after you get your result, continue to let your imagination wander and jot them down next to your earlier result. Roll a feat die and a success die, and write it down. Here we got a Gandalf rune and a 6 getting troll-like, yet greater. This creature does share some features of trolls, but maybe not all, or maybe more. Great size, great strength, and some foulness that even regular cave or stone trolls could not match. Add to the fact that from the initial result from the table 1 states that the creature is of the water, we need to stretch our imagination even a little further and think about how a troll-like creature would look and act, living or being around water. Let's put that on the back burner and let it simmer a bit. Table 3 is used to determine what the player heroes notice moments before the thing appears, and then what the company would see first on encountering it. Roll 2 feat die, and again note the results. Here, we rolled a 7 and a 4, getting, before you see it, you hear a terrifying scream. You now see, as you gaze on it, likeness for the first time, its open, gaping mouth, opening and closing as if gasping for air. As you can see, even with random rolls, we're creating a terrifying, unnatural creature, maybe almost a little Cthulhu-like in style. On that note, Don't be afraid to pull ideas from other games or horror elements. This is your game after all, but still keep in mind to continue with the look and feel of Middle-earth. Table 4 looks at rumors about the thing that the players can hear and find out, similar to what you would have for landmarks. 12 options are available to use, so getting a Gandalf rune we get, when Beleriand was broken, many creatures fled its ruins. Among them is a thing that is particularly large and cruel. Since that time, it has been moving slowly ever east. I can already start to see where the creature will land. I'm thinking of some form of large sea creature with features of a troll that has hunted since the ending of the First Age of Middle-earth. The elves as they cross the sea into the west. Imagine their horror as elves seeking to pass onto the west, leaving the Grey Havens only to find as they enter the vastness of the sea, they are beset by this great beast breaking out of the depths of the darkness of the sea to pull them down, never to reach the shores of Valinor. Table 5 is to describe where the thing is remembered. Now, as we progress and we're starting to think on what this thing looks like and such, we could go ahead and choose an appropriate entry. However, let's keep it random to even surprise us as we're creating it. That all being said, I do find that even the most random of results give some continuity. The writers here have done an amazing job in keeping things together nicely. Here, we roll 1 feat die, getting a 7. On initial read, it's not really fitting what we've rolled so far. I am tempted to reroll, but let's think on it for a moment. How can we tweak the entry just a little bit to fit the narrative that we're creating so far? Let's continue with our thought that this creature is prowling the shores of Eriador, and instead of rangers, we say seafarers tell many tales of horrible and mysterious things that prowl the western shores of Eriador. Most are made up, the elves laughingly say, but one is definitely not. A creature that can suddenly appear off the bow or stern of your ship while you sail the winds or are moored off in a cove to rest and sleep. The elves speak of it as well, but they are less concerned, as they never sleep, always watchful of the waves, ready to tighten the sails at any moment's notice. Table 6 now identifies the characteristics of the nameless thing you are creating. Here, we roll another feat die and compare the result. We rolled an Eye of Sauron, which, as you can tell from the table, is the toughest rating fitting the description so far of our nameless creature. Attribute level and amount of hate, 12. Armor, 5d. Endurance set on 120. Might, 3. Combat proficiency, 4. And the number of fell abilities at 5. This creature is a sailing ships and elves nightmare. Table 7 gives you some options for attack forms. Here, you roll 2 success die, giving you the primary and secondary form of attacks. Again, feel free to choose, but for us, we'll continue to roll randomly. Rolling 2 success dice, we get a 1 and a 4. The first option being Crush, with a damage of attribute level of 12, injury 12, and special damage of Break Shield. We may need to tweak this to represent some form of ship hull damage or not enter it as an entry at all. Again, feel free to scratch it out. The second option is a Bite. The creature's maw can bite and snap even the strongest of masts, oars, or elves in full armor. Damage being attribute -2, equaling 10, injury is 14, and piercing as special damage option. Here, we don't really need to change anything. Table 8 lists the available fell abilities of this nameless thing. Referencing the result from Table 6, roll the number of feat die for how many fell abilities are in total. In our example, it's 5. Here, we rolled an eye, a 1, a 2, a 10, and a 7. Looking at the table, we get Thing of Terror, obviously, Deadly Wound, Denizen of the Dark, Thick Hide, and Foul Reek. No adjustments here are needed, as I can see each one being applicable to this ancient, giant, troll-like sea creature that inhabits the seas between Eriador and Valinor. Once you've now rolled all the tables and written down the results, let's put it all together on paper, or in stone, as it were. The format should be similar to what is presented in the core rulebooks for any of the other adversaries. Don't worry too much about how they look. There's plenty of fan-made templates that you can use over on the Discord channel and other Tor-related websites like Facebook.
I present you the Hunter in the Water, an ancient creature of the first age of Middle-earth. The stone-skinned giant lurks in the depths, surprising and bringing down any unsuspecting sailors and their ships into the gold, dark lightless of the sea. All manner of experienced seafarers who sail the coast of Eriador speak of this creature lurking under the waves, only to break out and beset an unsuspecting ship. During, of course, the most violent and darkest of storms. Not even the seemingly safe shores of a sheltered cove will protect you, as under the cover of darkness it hunts. Círdan, the shipwright, knows all too well the tales of both elves and us men. Most are false, but a few are more true of word. Within the midst of the loudest crash of the highest waves and clap of ear-shattering thunder, you hear the terrifying, blood-curdling scream of the hunter in the water. Aye, you best be ready for a cold swim, mate, for you're soon to be seeing its large, gaping maw and flaring gills before you with each flash of bright, white lightning.
I hope you found this video helpful in creating your own horrific nameless thing to throw at your players and their company of heroes. Try it out, create a few, and pick one that you'd like, or pick them all. Let your imagination wander and come up with something unique. Feel free to share your creation, especially over on the Discord or on the Facebook group, or here in the comments section. As always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to help this channel grow, but to also spread the word about this great tabletop role-playing game from Free League Publishing. I'm Ryan of the North, and thank you for watching.